There was one morning where I seen my accounts and it was in the negatives.
Bankrupt, like no money on my card.
And I said, no, this today is the last day that I will ever see my accounts in the negatives in the name of Jesus. And that was the last day that I seen my account in the negatives. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Diamond Chanel. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and here we talk about all things finances, money, investments, and personal development. In this particular video, we're going to be going over some healthy financial habits that you can start developing as a millennial to reach your goals by the end of the year. Now, if you stick with me throughout the video, I'm going to be giving you guys some of my personal experiences on how I was able to achieve my end of the year financial goal within only a few months. Now, if you want me to go more specific into what that number is, please leave a comment down below and I will make a whole separate video about that. The reason why this video to me is so important and why I'm tailoring this advice to millennials is because the statistics are that 58% of millennials have less than $5,000 worth of savings. And 30% of millennials don't have a savings account whatsoever. And to clarify, you're considered a millennial if you are within the age range of 25 to 40. So you're pretty daggone grown to not have a savings account, okay? So we need to fix that and fix our terrible financial habits so that we can reach our goals by the end of the year. So enough of me talking about the statistics. Let's just jump directly into the video so I can give you guys some tips on how to start creating financial stability for yourself so that we can reach our goals by the end of 2021. Now, the first thing that we need to do is so important. Everybody says it, it's cliche, but it's the most important thing that we really have to adapt. We have to adapt to a better mindset. We have to shift our mindset from, mind you, if the youngest millennial right now is 25 years old, you are old enough to start shifting your mindset and focusing on your future. Doing silly things and wasting all of your money is in the past now. Time to get us together, okay? So for me, that was one of the things that was in my mind. I'm like, at the beginning of last year, 2020, I was so broke. I was part of the 30% of millennials who did not have a savings account whatsoever. And I just knew, Diamond, it is time to get your together, okay? We cannot live like this anymore. And so right there was the beginning of the mindset shift for me. And so I had to shift my mind into wanting better for myself. So that's just number one. You have to want better for yourself and put your mind in a space that you are ready to be more disciplined. You're ready for change and you know that you need this change. Another shift that I had to make in my mind was figuring out my why. Why did I want to practice financial healthy habits? What were my goals for the end of the year? How will I get there? What is going to keep me pushing and keep me disciplined to stay on track for the things that I want? Like, what is my why? It has to be bigger than just wanting to have money. But like I said, for me, it was having money in case of an emergency. Also working towards a goal that I had, which was having my own place. I wanted to actually invest in real estate before the age of 25. So that was a big thing in my mind that I was like, I really want this thing. And in order for me to have this, I need to start saving money because you can't have a house without having a down payment for the house, right? And you can't have an apartment without having the down payment for the apartment. All in all, having security and independence was a big part of my why. I know I can't assume anybody's belief system or anybody's spirituality, but I would not be authentically me if I do not mention that this was a huge part of why I was able to reach my goal within only a few months when I set the goal for the end of the year. I started to read more scriptures about speaking things into existence and how there's power in the tongue. And so I had to change my language and stop saying that I was broke, stop saying that I didn't have or that I lacked something because your words are keeping you in bondage. And so one thing that I did every single morning Every morning, I spoke things into existence. I spoke money into my bank account. I spoke for my credit to come up. I just spoke and declared abundance for my life. I declared joy and success, and not only for me, but for everybody around me, my family. And doing that, I seen even my family be pushed up in a better financial situation just from speaking it every single morning. Every single morning. There was one morning where I seen my accounts and it was in the negatives, and I said, no, this today is the last day that I will ever see my accounts in the negatives in the name of Jesus. And that was the last day that I seen my account in the negatives. I'm just being honest. Whether you believe in that or not, I have to be myself and I have to be real with you. That's what I did. If you don't believe in the spirituality of it, at least believe that you are consistently motivating your subconscious to focus your mind on your goals and focus your mind on saving and getting money and bringing money to you. Like, if nothing else, at least believe that you're able to train your mind subconsciously when you repeat certain words over and over and over and over again. So that was a big thing for me. That was part of my mindset shift. Writing the vision down and making it clear. And what I mean by that is planning for success. Planning your goals, writing out clearly on a piece of paper, because it's something magical about pen and paper. And when you write it down and you see visually your goals out in front of you, I would just keep notebooks full of my goals and the things that I wanted to do. And I would look at it every day to see if I was on track for meeting those things. It's important to create a financial plan for yourself. Most people, if you ask them, what is your financial plan for this year? They're going to look at you and be dumbfounded. Like, most people do not think of that on a daily basis. They might not think about that at all. They don't think about, what is my financial plan? What are my financial goals? What will I do every single day to work towards that goal? And so that is a huge part of building healthy financial habits, is having a plan and having it clear. Let it be clear, let it be precise, and let it be very specific. So even if you don't hit that goal specifically, it still keeps your mind on track, where it's like, I'm going for something, this is my plan. Another part of your plan for everybody, I don't care what age you are, should be to decrease your expenses. That is a plan. That should be written down somewhere on your piece of paper. Decrease my unnecessary expenses, which takes me into my third point. Stop overspending.
And, real quick, let me just...
Oh my God!
Leave me alone!
You don't, no, you don't need it. You don't, put it down. You don't need it. Something that really stuck in my head was a quote that I heard from Jay-Z, and I talk about it all the time, where he said that if you can't buy it twice, you can't afford it. And I don't mean buy it twice and you have nothing in your bank account after that. I mean buying it twice and you still have enough money left to survive, okay? Just because you can buy something does not mean that you should or that you could afford that thing. I don't know who needs to hear this, but it is unnecessary for you to buy food every single day. Stop that. Stop it right now. I started writing down how much I was spending in food alone, and the number was ridiculous. So instead, I started doing my own grocery shopping and picking up some things that would last me at least 2 weeks and maybe spend $70 to $100 at one time. But even that was way cheaper than going out every day, getting Panera, because y'all know Panera is expensive. You could spend $20 for a sandwich and some soup. Doesn't make sense. And that stuff starts to add up when you're doing that twice a day or even just once every day. That's a lot of money. When you could simply go grocery shopping, keep it cute, keep it on a budget, and then start meal prepping, pack your own lunches, pack your breakfast, have that all done for you before you go to bed. You have to stop yourself from purchasing unnecessary items. So this is why you're going to sit down, you're going to track your income versus your expenses. You're going to try to decrease your expenses to increase your income. This is only temporary things. Once you build up your savings account and you put yourself in a financially stable situation, then you can have a little bit more money to budget and to splurge on those things that you really enjoy and that you like. But the problem is that you're overindulging in these things that are totally unnecessary. Another great thing that people usually don't think of are the continuous subscriptions. Sometimes, you try to get a freebie, and so like you put your email in, you put your card information in because it says that you're going to have a free week trial or something. Then you forget about it. And this whole time, for months, this company has been taking money out of your bank account and you don't even realize. At the end of the day, all of that starts to add up. That it might only be $20 a month or even $5 a month. A dollar saved is a dollar earned. So cut off those unnecessary subscriptions. You don't need Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, HBO, Stars. You don't need all of that. Pick one little subscription that you really like and do away with the ones that you don't need. I mean, you don't need any of them, but hey, you want some joy in your life, right? So do away with the ones that you don't really use. They're not that important. I believe that you could go into your phone if you have an Apple and you could see all of the subscriptions that you have purchased through your phone, and they'll list it there for you, and you'd be surprised at what you've been paying for, that you can easily take that off and save some money. Now, this point, I know that it might be difficult depending on your circumstances and your situations, but if you can, try to downsize your living space. If you have an apartment and you're realizing that you're struggling to pay your rent, two things need to happen. You either need to get a roommate, which would be cutting down half of your space because you're sharing it with somebody else, or it's time to let go of that lease and go back to your parents' house if they allow you to. Now, I know that circumstance really varies depending on other people's relationships with their family, yada, yada, yada. I get it. I understand it. But if it's a situation where you just need to swallow your pride and people are allowing you to stay with them, do that. Downsize the most that you can. Wait till you stack up your bread and then go ahead and go forth and get your apartment when you can afford it a little bit later. Sometimes we have to make the hard sacrifices to save the money, because if you're paying rent every month, then you could never catch up if you can't afford it. So either get a roommate or, fake a relationship so they could pay half the rent, and do what you have to do. Downsize your living space if it's possible. Now, I know I just said a lot. So if you're still with me, please put a emoji down in the comment section so that I know that I am making sense and that I'm being concise and that this video isn't too long and that you're engaging with me. It helps me realize, what you guys like and what you don't like. So if you made it to this portion of the video, go ahead and put an emoji down in the comment section. And while you at it, you might as well like the video as well. All right, so let's jump into number 4. The fourth thing that you want to do, since we talked about our expenses. Now, there are certain situations where you put yourself in the position where you can't get rid of your big expenses. Well, then the next thing that you need to do is increase your income. This is what this channel is pretty much all about. It's all about creating multiple streams of income so that we can increase our income. Sometimes that's the only thing left to do. Your bills are up the woo-ha and you don't know what to do at this point. You can't get out of them without seriously ruining your credit. When people message me telling me about their story and how they're in a crunch right now because X, Y, and Z happened, the first thing that I ask them is, well, do you have a car? And if they say yes, then my next suggestion to them is, listen, it's time to start Ubering, DoorDashing, Grubhubbing, whatever else it is out there, Lyft, whatever. It's time to start using your car to make money. Now, if you guys want to see, I did a quick video about how much I made in one night through DoorDashing, and I'll leave that up here. DoorDashing is a great way, or even doing Uber Eats is a great way to earn some extra income, especially when you are in a crunch. And honestly, depending on your area and your dedication to it, you can really make some great money that might even surpass the amount of money that you make on your full-time job per day. So always trying to figure out ways to increase your income. Even if you're just making it and you're just paying your bills and you have no money left over at the end of the day to even put into a savings account, it's time to start making more money. And if you want to figure out different ways to make money, now's a good time to subscribe to this channel, because I give you a bunch of different ideas and tips on how you can start making multiple streams of income. Now on to number 5. Change your circle of friends. Sometimes it's time to start getting rid of our unproductive, unchanging, broke friends. I'm just being honest. If you want success, you have to surround yourself around people who are going after the same things that you are, or even better, are already at the goal that you want to obtain. Why? Because us as human beings are naturally competitive. So if you're hanging out with guys that don't do anything with their day, that just sit around, and all that you have in common with these people are smoking and drinking and doing things that are eating up at your money and not bringing any money to you, or they're not challenging you or stimulating you mentally, then it's time to go. Because friends like that are enablers. They're way too complacent. And if you stick around with this group of people, or at least giving your time and prioritizing your time with these people, you're going to find yourself stuck. You should never aspire to be the smartest in the room. You should never aspire to be the richest in the room. It's great to surround yourself with people who are doing the things that you aspire to do, or at least are working towards it. Because, like I said, we are naturally competitive. So you naturally will want to try to keep up with what it is that they're doing. I mean, it just is what it is. We want to fit in. We want to keep up with what other people are doing. That's just human nature. We want acceptance. But the problem is when you're being accepted by the wrong group who aren't challenging you to do better. If any of you have that friend that always wants to do something, they always want to go out, they always want to plan a trip, but they always broke, that does not help nobody. That helps nobody. If you're not going to have a friend that's going to tell you, girl, sit your behind down because you can't afford it. You need people like that in your life. Sit your behind down. You can't afford it. We're going to sit here and try to figure out how to up your income. Or we're going to try to figure out how to get you into a better financial situation. If your friends aren't concerned about your financial situation and you struggling, you need new friends, okay? Some of y'all don't want to hear that, but I had to say it. It had to be said. You need to change your circle. Now, my last tip that totally changed the way that I viewed my finances were these 2 apps. And the first one is called Digit. So I actually had my significant other, he sent me this app and he said, we need to join this because it's going to help us like build money. So basically what Digit does is you hook it up to your bank account, and Digit takes out a small amount of money daily from your bank account, and you can set limits to it. So if your bank account falls under, say, $100, whatever, you can set the price for yourself. Then Digit will know not to take out money from your bank account if it falls that low. And they'll even notify you and say, hey, your bank account is getting low. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and send some money into your bank account, which is the great thing. So no, they're not giving you free money, but what they're doing is accumulating small amounts of money. So $1 here, maybe $2, maybe $3, maybe 50 cents. But when you're not thinking about it, you actually get a great amount of money that stacks up, because it's just taking very quietly. It's taking, and the moment that your account falls beneath, it puts it back in your account. And the great thing about it is you can set different goals. So I'll show you some of mine with my Digit. Basically, it allows you to break down different priorities that you want. So I have a rainy day one for an apartment, one for trips and fun, and one for charity. And I've actually use the money that I had in my Digit plenty of times, especially when I would fall low. Sometimes I would take out from my rainy day, and I was able to use that. And most of the time I don't think about my Digit. I just let it sit there and accumulate money. And then by the end of the month, I go check it and I'm like, oh, I got money. I got money I didn't know I had in there. So it's really a great app. If you guys are interested in that, I'm going to leave the link down below for you. And if you sign up using my referral link, you get $5. I get $5. We all win. The second app that I really love is called Mint. And Mint basically breaks down your expenses and your income. So going back to what I said before of having that ledger of always income and expenses, and it allows you to set your budget for each month. If you love coffee, but you know you need to slow down on your Starbucks purchases, you can say, okay, I want a $50 limit per month with my coffee. And Mint doesn't actually stop you, but what it does, it notifies you when you're about to go over your budget. And then it tells you your net worth and how much money you made for this month, how much money you spent for this month. And it's really a great app because it keeps you self-aware of your income and your expenses. And there'll be times where I'm like, oh, dang, I spent that much money. I need to slow down. So it just keeps you self-aware and it keeps you on track for your goals. I will also leave that down below, a link for that. And so that really includes all of my tips that I have for you right now on how you as a millennial can start building healthy financial habits. If this was a video that you liked and you were interested in, don't forget to hit that like button for me so we can share it to other people. And if you really, really, really liked me, you hit that subscribe button so you can get notified the next time I put out a video. All right, guys. Peace.